Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. It is a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. On this episode, we are joined by Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza podcast. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. We are excited to have our co-host, Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza podcast. Originating from the Republic of Kenya, he has established himself as a distinguished voice in the podcasting community. His work has been recognized with 3 nominations for Best African Diasporan Podcast by the African Podcast and Voice Awards, along with a nomination for Best Blog by the Texas Creator Awards. He also has been a presenter at the Afros and Audio Podcast Festival and contributed at the 2025 Podfest. Hey, Sambaza.
Hey, Jen, how you doing today?
Good to see ya.
Yeah, another day. We're having a bit of difficulty, guys, so excuse our setup here. We had to change a little bit. Oh, by the way, Jen, I may not be able to see the chats coming on, so you'll help me out today. With seeing the chats. So other than that, how's your week been? Recovered?
Yeah, pretty good. Lord willing, we made it back from our travels and all of that. So, yeah, I had a good time, and we're actually going to get into some conversations and reflections about the trip. We attended the 7th and final Afros and Audio Podcast Festival, and so we wanted to share some reflections with everyone. There was so much to do and so much to see and so many people that we didn't go to every single thing, but I feel like between the two of us, we have a lot to share with the listeners of who may not be familiar and things like that. So I'm excited to share.
Right. I think I had my own challenge. My challenge was to take as many pictures with everybody who was there.
Mm-hmm.
I did manage. I think I missed maybe about 2, 3, or 4 people.
Okay.
But other than that, I probably got everybody who was there, or at least everybody who I saw and who was willing to take pictures. So that was my thing that I liked. I like to have fun whenever I'm somewhere else, and it gives me something to look forward to and mingle around with the crowd if I'm not volunteering. So I didn't volunteer, so that was my way of getting to know everybody. Just, hey, tell somebody, let's take a picture so I can remember this moment. So,
well, they put you to work at one point. But
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did the producing the show for, actually, the talk. That's what I produced. I produced a talk for the African voices. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. It was
definitely.
really nice. Yeah.
So let me introduce our topic, and then you can share some affirmations to set the situation up. So we were excited to attend the 7th and final Afros Audio Podcast Festival in Baltimore, Maryland, a space that has been home to creativity, collaboration, and community for Black podcasters and audio professionals. This year, we got to experience it and had a great time, from the workshops and networking to the deep conversations and good vibes. So join us as we reflect on what we learned, people who we met, and how this event continues to shape our podcasting journey, and talk about that legacy of that event. So,
that'll be awesome. I think it'll be great. So welcome everybody who is watching on YouTube, TikTok. We're not doing Clubhouse today. Facebook, if you're in there, that's going to be another way of tuning into us. So I'm going to jump into the affirmation for the day. Now, the affirmation for today says, even my flaws have good and helpful aspects. I'll repeat that again. Even my flaws have good and helpful aspects. That's the affirmation for the day.
Okay. That's a good one. Definitely. I feel like there's always something to be learned. So I like that. Did you have a proverb to share?
Okay, now, Jen, you kind of were cut off there for a minute, but I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right. So now Here's an African proverb that we have. It's random, and it says, "Knowledge is a garden. If it isn't cultivated, you can't harvest it." Knowledge is a garden. If it isn't cultivated, you can't harvest it. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it, to me,
Mm-hmm.
just learning or taking in some information is one thing, but to actually put it to use, put it in action is another. And so, yeah, you definitely want to put the information that you take into action. So, yeah.
Oh, for me, I would say it's more like you do have knowledge. Knowledge is like a bucket in there. If you don't make it purposeful, you're not gonna get out of it. It's just gonna be water, you know. Just like seeds. If you have a
Mhm.
bucket full of corn, right, and you're supposed to plant them, if you leave them in the bucket, they'll just remain corn. They'll not do anything. Say, for example, you take it to the farm and you plant that corn. If you don't cultivate, like remove the weeds or anything like that, you're not going to get any corn. You're going to get damaged corn. But if you work on it, yeah, you'll harvest something from your
Sure.
farm. So yeah, you can look at it in that way too. Yeah, that's how we can sow our minds to be great.
For
Appreciate
sure.
for that proverb. And again, Jen, these are great proverbs to look into. Yeah. Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, quick note: how is your jar doing? That famous jar that we have.
Yeah. It's probably not as full as yours, but I definitely have to add our travel to Afros Audio in the jar of, good things happening for the year. If you're not familiar, we show, and it's around here somewhere, my jar. Actually, I think it's
Who's
under my, huh? of to write something positive that is happening for yourself for the year, and at the end of the year we're going to look back at the things in the jar. So, but I'm just saying your jar may be fuller than mine, but
Nah, it's the same. It's just the little wins. I think we just got to put in the little wins. The reason why I'm saying this is just a precursor to what's going to happen in December, so that we let our listeners and the viewers know that, hey, there's something coming up, that we're going to look at the whole thing, like a 360 view from day one, and what we have collected and what the wins are. We celebrate wins, I think, every Friday at the morning chat, podcasting morning chat, PMC.
Mhm.
But I think this one is like relatively for the whole year, and it's just exclusively you and I. So I think that's a plus.
Okay,
Yeah, yep, yep, yep.
for sure.
All
And
right.
we also shout out to the chat. We have Ed Campbell who has said peace and gratitude. Shout out to Brother Ed in the chat. We appreciate you. And Denise, who I think this comment is from last week when we had some technical difficulties. So we appreciate her as well. Everyone tapping in on the additional platforms. We appreciate you as well. And thank you to Sambaza for setting those platforms up.
Oh, thank you. Now, we're gonna go to the first segment, the first impressions, and the festival energy about Afros and audio. What do you think was it? Because the vibe was great. I think I think when Talib said the thing and said seventh and final, people, it kind of got people more excited and was
Mhm.
more emotional, and that's what made it kind of feel special to be able to be there at this particular time with all the podcasters that were available to attend. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. I agree. I feel like the energy was high coming in, knowing it was the last. We had the incorporation of the Black Podcasters Awards, who was doing a live show for the first time, and that was really dope. And that full show is available on YouTube, so people can catch it. I know we didn't get to be there in person, but like I said, the whole thing is out there, and they taped it live, so that was a great addition to the festivities. A lot of the attendees, presenters were recipients of awards. A lot of our good friends, Dr. Lisa, Dominic Lawson, and a lot of many other great podcasters were recognized and acknowledged. So it was really exciting. I mean, and
Yeah,
that's just
man.
a
If
small
you
piece of
haven't
it.
checked it
But
out,
yeah.
just go onto YouTube and check that show.
Mhm. Definitely. But as far as first
Yeah, I think it's
impressions,
awesome. From
mhm,
what I saw, I watched a little bit of it.
mhm,
It was awesome.
definitely that awards is so important to and I don't know what year they're in, but it's a great platform.
I think Jen, the connection here today is not that great. We keep freezing.
Okay. Can you hear me? Check, check, check.
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Before,
All
kind of
right.
like you went away.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I have a weak signal, but we'll try to push through.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was great. I think the award ceremony, the way shout outs to whoever did it because it did come out great. I can say I've never seen one. Well, not I've never seen one like that. There have been some out there, but this one was special when you were seeing them doing the whole thingy, and it was awesome.
Definitely. But yeah, that definitely set the tone for that was I guess in the early uh conference started on Thursday, so a lot of presentations started early that Friday, and then that Friday evening the awards occurred. So, with us coming in on Friday, we actually got to, slide right into some presentations and workshops. We missed a few, but like I said, there were just so many things, so many things to do. Check, check, check. Can you hear me? Sambaza, are you there? Can you hear me? Check, check, check. I think. Okay, I feel like our signal might be a little weak. So we'll push on.
Yeah, I
Sambaza,
can
jump
hear
in.
you, but you're not moving. The video, the
Okay.
screen is off.
On me?
What is the signal today? There's somebody who's got some juju magic or something doing today because we can't get this through.
Okay, hang on for a second. Let's show our videos. I did come up with a few videos to show. So can
Hmm.
we do that? All right.
Yeah,
So
let's
let
do that.
me okay. All right. We'll take a second and show the videos that we made while we were in Baltimore. All right. Here's the first one. Podcast Festival. So oh hang on. I am here in Baltimore, Maryland for the 7th annual Afros and Audio Podcast Festival. So I want to say hey from Baltimore and introduce you to my co-host and podcast partner,
Hey,
Sambaza. And so Sambaza has traveled here from Texas
yes.
and welcome to
I don't
Baltimore.
know. What did you like about yesterday when we got caught up?
Yes, so lots of great workshops and conferences going on during the Afros and Audio Podcast Festival, 7th annual. And we had a great panel yesterday
Hmm.
about the um,
African
diversity in
voices,
African, what is it?
voices, African voices, diversity
African
of voices. Yeah.
Voices. Yeah, great panel there. There was some financial panels yesterday. We have some brand strategists today. So just a lot of exciting content going on. And we're so happy to support and shout out to Liv
Oh yeah.
this year. So we appreciate all your effort. Okay,
I was waiting for
so
more.
that was one of them. You want to go to the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, here's another that I actually shot this and produced this one for Sambaza.
Today, it's happening this weekend in
Oh, hang on. Let me go
Baltimore,
back.
and be sure to join us
Oh, wait.
and subscribe to our podcast.
Oh, okay. Let's start off.
Hey, this is Sambaza with the Sambaza podcast. Welcome to Baltimore for those of you who are new, and we are attending the 7th Afros and Audio Festival today. Oh, it's happening this weekend in Baltimore, and be sure to join us and subscribe to our podcast or my podcast, that is Sambaza Podcast. And hey, we will have a lot of stories coming up shortly.
Oh, that was great. Appreciate
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I have one more, but we can save that one.
We can put that towards the end, something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Like take a commercial break in case we still have these issues about the connection. Yeah, I think we're good. We're good. We're good. This one is going to happen, guys. On TikTok, we're going to work this out. It's going to work. So, um, what did it mean to have spaces for the Afros and audio for Black podcasters and digital storytellers over the years? What do you think it had?
Mhm.
What impact did it have?
Yeah, I think it was very significant. It definitely gave an outlet and recognition. Listening to the presenters, people shared that they may not have all of these thousands of downloads, but to come into this space and for a room of people that look like them, it really made them feel proud and make them continue, doing their craft. And so it was really inspiring to hear that, because sometimes, it does make you, you may not be inspiring to do this type of project, whether you're in it for the money or you're in it for the passion or whatever. It's a lot of work. And to hear, to be in a room full of like-minded folks that, understand what it means to create something and put it out and work on it and write and prepare, it just really was just recognition and support, so.
To me, I think yes, it meant great for a lot of the people, and especially I look at the time when I met people who were probably their first podcast, or like over the last 3 years. I mean, Q Lewis
Mhm,
and his team. They have been moving from the time he started to where he is now, and you follow him on the Instagram. He's doing great. You meet some other podcasters who were just trying, who were just starting up. Excuse me. Way back when, at this point in time, they have increased. They've increased their hold in the podcasting industry, and they're able to,
mhm,
stand by on their own. Um, the other part is, and I alluded to this, where me or I, as an African podcaster, having to
mhm,
be granted that space and to be in there and actually be able to present, and also now like have a spot where we presented as African podcasters one time. Now somebody else took it this year, and I really didn't want to do it this year. I prefer to
mhm,
be on the back end.
mhm,
um the reason being is it's the African podcast. Let me see how they do. We started it. We give. It's like we did it the first time, opened it up, let other people come in and take that space and present, and let's see how they're doing in terms of podcasting. That means more visibility to other people. I don't want to hog the screen
mhm,
and be showing out there like every time, maybe every other time I can
mhm,
be in one. But to me, that was a testament that we were allowed to express ourselves, and we made to be felt like we belong. And I made this challenge, and I really it's wrecking me up, because I'm wrecking my brains up, and it's almost killing me when I alluded to the fact that maybe I was looking in the next 5 years we would have Afros and Audio Africa, either take it to South Africa or go to Kenya, or maybe Egypt or Nigeria. Either way.
and this
Oh yeah,
is
that's the first one. Yeah.
where when you
So
were on the panel. Mhm,
right, right. And I think when I talk about it going to Africa, it would give a lot of people a chance to travel there and see Africa as it is. One, and also kind of meet other podcasters and say, you know what, this is, to be welcomed home with the other podcasts. I think it gives a different meaning to podcasting, especially now when you create these collaborations with people from I'll use Africa, meaning the whole of Africa. So I'll be pleased to have that happen. I don't know how it's going to be, but hey, maybe someday.
Definitely. I mean, there were definitely conversations of at Afros and Audio West Coast, and different regions. So to take it to Africa, that's definitely an idea. And it was really, I'm going to put this picture of us. That was last time. um, to, oh, shoot.
I'm still
There we
here.
go.
I mean, hey, I'm still here. I ain't going nowhere. I'm still here. I'm here
Yeah.
now.
So,
Uh-huh.
but like to take one to Africa. But no, I was going to say the panel that you guys did, all of you guys from a different country in Africa, like that has to be like in the record books. I've said this before that it was really dope to have all of you come on the same stage. And then this year, new people on the panel, some from the prior panel, and, to share, what they are doing, what their platform is, and come together.
There's only one from the prior panel, but the rest were
Oh,
brand
yeah.
new,
Mm-hmm.
fresher. I mean, and then it also added more countries. I think this
Mm-hmm.
time, Grace is from well, we have Nigeria represented, we
Mm-hmm.
had Liberia represented,
Mm-hmm.
also I don't know Ella. I gotta find out. Ella was the other podcaster.
Okay.
But Zenith, of course, Zambia, Zambia, and yeah. So I think there was a mix of countries which were being represented. Wayu was there, and
Mm-hmm.
Wayu actually represented not even Africa. She represented diasporan podcaster, which was off of where is she from? She is from West Indies. She was from the West Indies. So
Mm-hmm.
it does create that idea of, okay, it's not Africa, but we're adding other people to be part of that particular group and make it more, it's African. We're all Africans. We all came from Africa. But yeah, there was that. And now when you talk about the East West Coast, and you added that mix to
Mm-hmm.
it,
Mm-hmm.
um that's also one of the things that is unique about the podcast. You have people from all parts of the country, and
Mm-hmm.
well, I would have hoped somebody from New Orleans or came from there to kind of represent. But um, when you look at the representation, it represented different people from different walks of life, from different
Sure.
podcasts with
Mm-hmm.
different type of podcasting capabilities. And I mean, look, it this was just a small, to me, I'm looking at this was just a small aspect of what you would get, and there's a bigger version to come.
For
I
sure.
think we're just scratching the surface here. This is not, this is a small, this is too small. There's got to be more. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And people are just, not necessarily only podcasters, but just creatives in general. I mean, we had some people that were like audio professionals, voice animation, photography. And yeah, so it was just really beautiful to see all of that um, in the same four walls. Um, so here's the talking point. You talked about how you went around and introduced yourself, and you were really comfortable taking pictures. We've had conversations about being an introvert, and but sometimes you have to be in these social spaces. So, what is your thoughts about pushing past social anxiety? I mean, I felt myself getting a little nervous, especially when it's like anybody want to get on the mic, and it's like a room full of people. I'm like, oh, even though I'm on the mic and I do this, sometimes I get a little nervous in big crowds like that. Your thoughts?
Um, uh, to me, at that point, I think the one thing is the people already know you, so you're part of a circle. So when you get into that and they're family members, I am like, you know what? I'll go and talk. And the other thing, and I'll tell you, it's been progressing. Before I didn't, there was some people I never talked to and they
Mhm,
came to the podcast. Thank God, to the conference. Thank God they came back again to the festival. Thank God they came back again and again. And this
mhm,
time I got to speak to them because I said, you know what? I may never get another chance to talk to them, one on
True.
one. I may be able to get somewhere else, but at least now I got the chance. Let me have a conversation with them, and I did speak to some of the guys who were there. Um, so I think, to me, I am anxious when I get there, but when I see a familiar face, I get into my zone, and I'm ready to talk. One thing I've tried to teach myself is not to shy in this get to feel shy in these spaces, even though
Mm-hmm.
I am nervous. One thing I get around being nervous, and I think that's what's helped me, is to always volunteer. Jen, volunteering is where you will get your nerves. You kind of get yourself into a position where people will know what you're doing. Because if you're a volunteer, people come and ask you questions. Then you
Mm-hmm.
can interact with them. Okay, and even after that, they'll remember you for your volunteer services. So, to me, um maybe you might want to try this, volunteering. Whenever you have an option to volunteer, be like in the front desk. When you tell people, hey, come on in, blah blah blah, you're busy doing this, people are asking you questions, what you want to do. And that's part of interviewing. You never know who you might meet in the beginning part, and then maybe you go to an evening party and they're like, oh yeah, you that person who was helping me out, blah 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 blah. Or maybe something happened, and then you catch the conversation later in the evening, and you're like, okay, did this thing work for you? Yes. Okay, that's a conversation you already created, you
Mm-hmm.
see. And now you're in your element, and you've gone out of that shell. But I think when you come off, like, yeah, introduction, yeah, there's that, yeah, it can be hard. It can be hard. I've been in some places where I felt like, okay, but that's
It's not so terrible for me. I feel like I do better on one-on-ones and small groups, but like room full of 100 people, here's a mic. It's just kind of like, whoa, it's too many people in here. But shout out to the chat. I don't know if you can see it on your side, Sambaza, since you okay. So shout out to the chat. We have Denise from Heal Empower Release has joined us. She says, hey family. And we also have 2025 BPA award winner, Jared Butler.
yo
He says, hey,
yay.
hey, y'all. Hey, shout out to
Man,
Jared.
yeah, he
And
did great.
he did. We missed him in person, but he took home an award. So salute to him. And he is a former guest of Woke by Accident. Check out his episode if you have not already done so.
Right, right.
He's so silly. He said, stop, you're making me blush. So,
So when we get to these spaces, right now,
mhm.
Jen, you said now you want to get. I told you, familiar face. That's your
Right.
community, right?
True. True.
Um, the C4 Collective was there, obviously, part of the C4 Collective, and we met up, and we were all comfortable. I know I always get tea for Lisa, on from Stitch Please. She always asks. So it happens that most of the time I'm usually from Kenya and I'm coming back, so she gets a chance to get the tea
This
leaves.
is the prior.
Yeah, that's
We
everybody
had
except
everybody except for
Sean was
Sean.
missing. Yeah. Oh my God, man. I wish he was there. And Crate, I wish everyone was there. That would have been awesome to have everyone over there.
Yeah.
Um. So, we we have a community. Even in our
Mm-hmm.
small collectives, we still have a bigger community, and that's the community of podcasting, the community of African American podcasters and African podcasts. So it makes it a big thing. Um,
For
and
sure.
one thing I like about the community that we have is these collaborations that have come up from there. And I think, Jen, right now we have so many. Yeah, we got to get in and do some collaborations. I know I have some that I've been waiting on to do and I haven't done, but they're in the
Okay.
works. Once I get them, I get myself situated. I think we'll get into that. So there's the sense of community. I think that has been fostered
Mhm.
a lot with this festival. And
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but I feel that is your basis of having um, not to feel out of place when you're in that situation.
Mhm.
Because they're like, hey, Jen, oh, I remember you, Jen. We did a show with you. Hey, Jen, you're the one who, whatever, does this thing, you walk by accident. Hey, Jen, I remember you from, you see. So there's all that camaraderie there. So I think
Mhm.
that's how you should feel when you get there.
No, like I said, the energy was definitely high and positive and friendly. It's just, just being an introvert, sometimes you get those little nerves in there, and that, but it was a beautiful experience for sure. But I want you to share our next segment about takeaways from the workshops. So you attended quite a few, so we'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Great topics.
Mm-hmm.
Great conversations. I think this year I made sure I asked a question in each and
You
every
did.
every session I attended, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel, hey, if you don't, first of all, you're not going to be recorded. So that's another shameless plug. They'll hear my voice when they record it. They'll see me. So either way, I'm in the building. They'll know. So
Not you in
everyone
for
who,
the shameless plugs.
oh yeah, because I think if everyone recorded their show, and I attended at least 5, so I'm in 5 podcasts just for asking questions, and that
Okay.
gives you a lot. They'd be like, "Who's that guy who asked that question?" They'd be like,
And
"Oh,"
I
and
thought
then
about that too.
right. So yeah. So that my greatest takeaway was, I'll say, of course, with the African voices, they had a strong group of people and strong podcasters. I mean, it was funny all the way, start to end. And we started talking about nuances, and we never finished that. We were short of time, but at least everyone participated. It
They
wasn't
did.
tied only to an African sense. It was more like it moved over. The other one was Kyrie. Is it Kyrie? Or Kyrie for Detroit is different.
Okay.
Spoke to him. I couldn't picture out where I'd seen him, and and that's what I was saying. Shout out to Talib for doing that 30-day podcasting thing where he interviews people to talk
Yes.
on his show, and he was there. He did a great conversation piece with Talib, and I remember listening to it, and I was like, man, this dude has a story. So when I met him, I was like, I think I've seen you from somewhere. He was like, nah. Then when he started speaking and said Detroit is different, I had to tell him, now
Yeah.
I figured out the dots of who you are. So there's that. Those was that was some of the great takeaways I can say for me. And the party, I got a chance to see B More again spitting his vibe. Man, that
Okay.
dude, he got, yeah, he's awesome. So B More was there in the party, and it was great. Oh man, I don't know. Look, there's so many things we can talk about that uh, Afros and audio that I could go on and on. But in general, it was fun. It was so much fun. Every year it just gets better. Well, and
Definitely.
technically,
And I guess I looked it up. The official title of the African Voices was Diverse Transcontinental Voices Bridging the Gap. So that was definitely a great presentation. I think we both attended that one. And shout out to
mm-hmm.
Grace. L. What's the gentleman's name on there? Dr.
Dr.
Gideon.
Divine, Dr.
And
Divine, Cola, L,
Cola. That's who I was
yeah,
thinking of. Shout out to
Cola, not Cola,
Cola.
no, not Cola, Cola.
That's what I said.
You say Cola,
you're
Cola.
making you're making fun of my American accent. Okay. You
No,
know what? But
I'm saying where he pronounces it.
okay. No, we actually reached out and connected, and we're talking about, being having him on the show to share. I love his content, and so I would love to have him on. And so that, and that's definitely what Talib encouraged people, interacting and connecting and collaborating. And so we definitely did that, even introvert and all, nervousness and all. Look, Sharon know what I'm talking about with the introverts. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just like, okay. But no, it was great. So I just want to shout out some of the other speakers. Dr. Lisa, who also was a winner, Dominic Lawson and Al Pete presented. Anthony Weaver, shout out to Anthony
Yeah.
Weaver, had a financial presentation that we missed, but the couple GQ and T, we got to attend that one, and they're the hosts of the Talk Game podcast, which they had a great presentation where they talked about the algorithm and leveraging likes and the metrics of your podcast. It's a lot of things we don't think about, but so I was definitely good to hear, like, hey, these things, play a part in your growth and, monetization, which was all we, the things that we want to achieve. So, that was a great presentation from them. We, the one I was thinking about was a panel toward the end about branding.
Oh yeah, that one was nice.
Yes, with our girl Jessica Hawley, who was a guest on the show, host of Everybody Can't Go Convos, and she is a great brand strategist. And her presentation was connection to currency, interviewing that builds loyal audiences. And Leo Rochelle, shout out to her, was the host of that. Oh, actually, it was Brand Loud, Speak Louder. That's what it was. So she must have been on two different ones. So Brand Loud, Speak Louder, building a podcast of purpose, voice, and community. And that was really great. All the ladies on the panel, Miss Frazier, Leo Rochelle, was one other person, and they gave, their own take of how you can leverage, branding. Go ahead.
No, this was just a moment, one of the funny moments I had. So when you take pictures, and the people's phones were not working, so I was like, look, what's your phone number so I can send this picture, and which is crazy is when I send it on my personal phone number and not the Sambaza podcast phone number. And then we were joking, and she was like, well, when you send this picture and you get my phone number, well, she's kidding. She was like, hey, I don't want to hear like, hey, what's up? What you doing? I said, no. I told her, you're only going to get my info from my email or Instagram or something else, DM, but it can't be from the phone number. But yeah, that was one of the funny moments I had after, like when you take pictures, because most of the time, like I said, I was taking pictures, and so we're sharing the pictures out there. So it was that was my funny moment with them. But it was a great. All three of them brought about great gems about branding and what to do in your branding situation, how to take your branding to the next level, and what to choose when you're doing branding. I like the fact that the part I liked, and which I also asked the question, was how they are going to impact the future generation of podcasting, because we are African American podcasters, and there was a situation where people were most of the information that is being sent out there, like right now as the situation is going on, people are being curtailed, stories are being curtailed. And there was one particular lady that I met, I forgot her name. She was light skinned, and there are a lot of light skinned women, but she told me she had a podcast that she had to archive everything. Because she was talking about DEI, and she was talking to these corporate people about DEI. And with the current situation, she had to archive everything because she did not know where the audience was going to be or who was going to listen to it. So most of them said, hey, why don't you just put it away, set it aside until things, settle down with this DEI stuff. So that was a great conversation to get into. However, back to what I was going to say. See, with these voices trying to be silenced, we have to teach the future generation to be able to say our stories. So that was my question to them, was how we can impact the stories by teaching the younger ones, and what would you do to get them to pass on that knowledge or learn about podcasting. And one of them said that she has a class, and at the end of the class she makes them do some type of presentation, but in a podcast version. So
Okay.
they get to, so if you have a class of like 20 students, so you get 20 students who could potentially, out of the 20, maybe 5 to 10 could be podcasters, just by getting to learn how to podcast.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great idea. I would be like super stoked to have a course where you're like given a an assignment to do a podcast as a project. That would be like amazing.
Mhm.
So yeah, so many takeaways, so much good information when you were talking about that part. And I don't know if you were referring to Dua Frazier. She was on the panel with Jessica Holly, and she talked about like archiving, your intellectual property, save your files. And she was saying that Nikki Giovanni, who recently passed, had put a lot of her hard copy files with the university, her alma mater, and things like
Mhm.
that. And that she's saying, just because you're independent, you could do the same, So these are things to think about, save your files for sure.
Yep, potential. Oh, by the way, we got a little bit of history, because the place is a museum, so it was Star
Mm-hmm.
Spangled flag.
House.
If you see pictures, yeah, the house. So there's some history there. We went and did like a 30-minute version of not 30-minute version, but we had 30 minutes of our time spent listening and knowing how the American flag was sewn and all that stuff. It was great. But I don't know if you'll podcast about that or talk about that. However, maybe that bit about that lady, whoever that's the indentured servant who was there.
Hello.
Maybe talk about a story about her. Black History
Yeah.
Month. Maybe we need to find out more for Black History Month and
You
talk
know
about.
what? That's a thought. That's a
Mhm.
thought.
Okay.
Okay. Put a
See,
pin in that one. Put that in your pocket.
we'll pen it.
Yes, put that on the virtual board.
Oh, okay. Now, how does Afros and Audio continue to bridge creativity in business? Oh, how has it been?
I'm trying to see. Where are you?
It's a question, about how we have how it continues to bridge creativity and business. I mean, we talked about Q
Mhm.
Lewis.
Yeah,
We
definitely. I
moved up
mean,
from just a
really,
regular podcaster.
definitely. And then I guess I see where you're at now. That helps with my train of thought. So the collaborations, you know what I mean? A lot of business deals, I'm sure, have been discussed in collaborations, partnerships, and things like that. So what better way to, maybe you're needing a solve for a creative problem that you're experiencing, and then you're in the room with photographers and people who do graphics and things like that. So yeah, it's an opportunity to support independent, to support minority owned, establishments. So I think just that natural networking and camaraderie that goes on fostered some of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was great. And I think you could tell there were business deals. Well, not well, maybe business deals,
Potentially,
potentially
potentially.
business deals, and there were also some connections being made in terms of,
Mm-hmm.
kind of how, I can meet somebody and sit down and have it over dinner, or when you are at the club or at
Mm-hmm.
the lounge, the motor club. That's where we were at. Um, you could sit there and meet somebody and have a short conversation and be like, hey, we should link up and do something, and yeah, it starts off there, and who knows where it goes. I think I made a couple, and I don't know. There's something from Lipsin. I'm hoping. I'm just praying. I'm praying it works out. But I want
Listen,
us to know. Yeah.
wait a
Oh,
minute.
I didn't tell you about that. Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you. If it works out, I mean something, and hey, that'll be part of the jar.
Okay, and
Our
shout out
cookie jar.
to yeah, the cookie jar. Shout out to Denise. She said, "Sounds like it was a great time for sure, for sure."
Yeah, Denise, you should have been there. Man,
Yeah, but a lot of people talked about their own meetups that are being planned and coordinated. So, there
this
may
is
be.
after.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I wish they had those meetups before. Like we'd have a Baltimore meetup for only
Mm,
Baltimore people. Then we have a meetup for Chicago people, Detroit, um, yeah, Detroit, Chicago. Then we have Dallas meetup. Then you have Atlanta meetup, and then we post these just gearing up to that particular festival, and like a tour. Well, not like a tour, but like people say, okay, this month it'll be these guys, and then just have them cities come out and
yeah.
celebrate each other. Maybe have a talk and uh, have something to look forward to. I'm
Yeah, I
hoping
feel
that
like
might be
it
the
could.
thing.
I feel like it could work on a smaller scale as a meetup. You can still have presenters. I mean, look, they had a long list of presenters. So if you chop that in half, I mean, that could be your meetup right there. Even a quarter of the speak. They had a lot of speakers. Some of them were going on simultaneously. I mean, it was nice so that you could say, okay, I'm going to attend this one. And some people did double duty and they dipped in. I just hate to get up in the middle of, when someone's speaking, but a lot of people was like, oh, I'm gonna catch this one, and they slipped out and went to another just so that they could, experience everything. But if you just chop that in half, I mean, that could be, another smaller scale event. So, yeah,
Man,
that's a
if I was going to be allowed to do my solo, man, yeah, hey, hey, hey. There were two actually.
thought.
The first
Hmm.
one was the AI version. That one I could not do. But then
Oh yeah, you did talk about doing that.
the other one was going to be now this like it was a combination of yeah. Anyway,
Look, put that
maybe not.
on the board.
Yeah, we'll put it on the board. Do it.
That's
Yeah,
still doable. So many
yeah.
topics with AI, especially that topic. And I, was listening to the clip when we had our episode about AI, and I kind of like rode past your point of, and now that I've been playing with a lot of these sites, they don't have African American voices to choose from. And I think that was your point. So, I mean, that is a whole talk right there. Just your point on that, and you've written a blog about that and stuff like that. So,
In Java with Sambaza. That's
mhm.
the Wix. It's on Wix. Java with Sambaza. Oh, Java not Sambaza. That's what it is. So if you go there, you'll find the topic about AI. Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean,
it's
like,
great.
are we excluded? Why are our voices not? I'm like, it's a whole list of voices, but it's like,
I mean, you
you
did that.
know,
I like the new one that you've done. Without going into a rabbit hole here, I like the new one that you've done so far.
yeah,
You're sitting in a car talking and saying, "Yeah,
yes,
Jen," that is really really great. I think
okay.
if it's to show development of AI, that's truly
And so
a
I
great
was
thing.
looking for one that kind of had I don't want to say deeper because my voice is not
Mhm,
deep. I wanted
mhm,
one that sounded closer to my voice that was a little more deeper and richer
mhm,
than these happy kind of like really cheerful that
mhm.
like the notes are up on the scale higher than, even though I go up high sometimes like that. But yeah, that one I did that one on Hey Jen. Shout out to Hey Jen.
Yeah, that
But
one came out nice.
yeah, I was tinking around. I've been working on that one. I got one more credit before I have to pay.
Oh,
So I'm
oh. Well, since we're talking about AI, I was trying to do my audio drama, and I did the first
mm,
part. So here's the
mhm,
problem. Like I said, there's no representation. The first part, when I did the first piece, it came with a piece for black people. It was a
mhm,
black couple. Well, that's
mhm.
how it starts. Then the next part where I was changing it to, now it turned into white. It turned into white people. Even though I didn't have to specify on both sides, I didn't specify. So one gave it the
Oh,
black, then the other one gave it the white aspect. But
I gotta send you a link because I know a guy. Shout out to TJ Lovelady. He's actually been a guest on Woke by Accident podcast before you were on here with me. Him and his sister.
mhm.
He does a lot of great AI videos, and it's kind of like an audio drama. Like he actually started a series on there, and the voices are on point with the, visual representation too. So I'll send you that link. I can't think of it. It's in my DM because I asked him like, what site are you using? Because these videos are great. It's not Sora, it's another one. But shout out to Sora. I know a lot of people hate it. But actually I've had fun with the ones I try to be creative and not just do stupid ones. Anybody can make a, brainless video, but I was trying to really, like make a little movie. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the one
Like,
that you did, right now was great. Was that, and did they have anybody talking about AI at the?
you know what? Not this go round. Not this go round, but the prior
Mm,
year they
mm,
did.
okay, okay.
So it just shows you, and
See
there's
my
other non-melanated conferences that are coming up, but there's so many topics that need, people like us to voice, concerns and just topical things that are point of reference of, what's going on from our perspective, because it's not the same. Our viewpoints are not the same. So,
yeah, like my picture. I tried to take a picture. It kept on giving me a white guy all the time.
hello,
Twice. Give up.
hello.
I give up. Well, but see, they just have to create that. They just have to keep creating and have more
Mhm.
creators in there
And
to
you can even say, light brown skin, and then
didn't didn't.
and then give you a white person.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah. It was frustrating, but
So don't
I
put
put my
light.
frustration. Yeah, I put my frustration on those on my blog when I talked about it. Very interesting
Yeah.
story.
Mhm.
But to sum it up, do you think do you think we'll ever have, or if it's still going to be there? I'm going to put it like this was not the last one, but let's suggest this was the last one. Do
Mhm.
you think we'll ever have a festival or conference that's going to be as good as the one that we've had so far, if not better?
No, but I feel like because representation matters and we need minority podcasters to show up and be on the stage, it mainstream and, well, we'll just say mainstream conferences. Our voices matter, and it was encouraging to hear that a lot of our minority podcasters were planning or had plans, you included, to attend these um mainstream conferences, because our voices need to be heard there too. You know what I mean? Yes, it's, we're in the sanctuary and we're in community and all of that, but we need to be on every stage. You know what I mean? We deserve to be on every stage. So
Yeah, I think we're getting there.
yeah,
I I I'm looking forward to my next gig that I'm going to be on stage. But like I said, we just have to keep trying. And for me,
for sure.
I think not I think, but for me, my goal is to start small, join in, keep moving, and keep growing. Um, and then once people get to see you in these spaces, then they can start working with you because they become comfortable. You have to make people be
Mhm.
comfortable around you so that they can be like, you know what? Yeah, we can work with that guy. I've done something with that guy. And then when you meet up again, they're like, okay, I know that guy. Um, I think this year I haven't done. I did a few collabos or with some people that I met after an audio, but yeah,
Mhm.
like I said, this year, 2025, I would tell people 2025 was a interesting year for me. So a lot of the things I had to scale back, and yeah, maybe we'll talk about it on the end of the year and say, have a more open conversation about it. But till then, I think all I can say is there will never be one like Afros and Audio. They may come another one, they may come up with another one, but it still won't
Mhm.
be Afros and Audio because Afros and Audio brought its
Mhm.
own authentic nature. It
It did.
brought itself in its own space that nobody could have created one like that.
Mhm.
So even as we go, or even if it moves to another place, I think Baltimore is where I can say I learned to podcast in conferences where
Mhm.
we mattered and we were accepted with everyone, and everyone accepted everyone despite wherever you're from or whatever kind of podcast you are, 100,000 whatever viewership, or you had 0 viewership, or you had 2 viewerships. It didn't matter. You are a podcaster. So that's what I'll say about if there's going to be another Afros and Audio. And hey, that's what made you come out, and I meet you over there. Because other than that, Jen, you did not want to come out. That was the time we met. But with that, I think I can say Afros and Audio is the best platform that has ever come up. And shout out to Talib for all his work. Actually, he turned 50.
Who's that?
Can you imagine? Talib.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. They said that at the party.
That was his birthday weekend?
It wasn't. No. It was just the other day. They
just
said,
okay.
In advance. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, birthday wishes to Talib. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is a celebration. Absolutely.
Yep. There you go. Oh, with that, Jen, let's go. Take it home.
Yes, for sure. So Afros and Audio may be closing this chapter, but connections, creativity, and lessons live on in all of us who have been a part of it. So with that, we thank you guys for joining us, and we hope that today's conversation has inspired and potentially enlightened you. If you found it meaningful, please consider sharing with friends, family, colleagues. Our collective awareness and advocacy play a crucial role in creating positive change. We invite you to stay tuned for more engaging content, and we look forward to sharing these important conversations in the future. All right, and so just another shout out to the chat. Hey,
Zenith, thank you, Zenith.
Okay, Zenith in the house.
You put a different name. Yeah, Zenith was here. Oh, and thank you everyone who has been hanging out with us on TikTok. We really appreciate you, and anyone who's on YouTube and hung out there. Thank you so much. We couldn't have done this without you guys. And I know we're trying, and we're trying to get out there. And hey, shout outs to you for taking your time or sparing a minute or two to listen to us.
Absolutely. You guys are awesome. And we appreciate you so much for sure. And the audio episodes are coming soon. I'm catching up. So with that, we will see you guys next time, and take care. At this time, we're going to go ahead and conclude the episode. We greatly appreciate you listening. We invite you to follow us on social media. On Instagram, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. On Twitter, it is Woke by. On Facebook, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. We also have the new website up, www.wokebyaccident.net. Please check us out, and also follow us on all of your favorite streaming platforms, and please leave a review and share feedback. You can also reach out by Gmail, wokebyaccident@gmail.com. And every time you listen, we appreciate it so much. Thank you for listening, and take care.